This is the ESPN Rivalry Series, presented by GoPro.
South Carolina's eyes are in two Columbias tonight. In order to win the SEC East, Gamecock fans are Johnny football fans in Columbia, Missouri. While here in Columbia, South Carolina, the home team has to deal with their bitter in-state rival, the 6th-ranked and loathed Clemson Tigers. And welcome back, everyone, to Williams-Brice Stadium under the lights here in Columbia, South Carolina. Number 6, Clemson, against number 10, South Carolina. Both teams come into this one on 4-game winning streaks. Clemson winning the toss and receiving. Watkins and Green here on the return for the Tigers. TJ Green rocked shy of the 30-yard line, and that's where they'll start first down and 10 with their senior quarterback Taj Boyd, who's the only quarterback in ACC history to pass for 10,000 yards and rush for 1,000 yards.
You can talk about the legacy of Clowney. You better start talking about the legacy of Boyd as well. One of only 14 in the history of college football to throw for over 100 touchdowns. But he also knows he's not beaten this team he's lined up against. In fact, nobody on this Clemson team is. His legacy will be defined as well tonight.
Completes his first pass to Sammy Watkins, trying to get to the edge and run out of bounds after a gain of about 6 yards on the play. We want to welcome those of you watching on ESPN. We're here at Williams-Brice Stadium in Columbia, South Carolina. Just underway between number 6 Clemson and number 10 South Carolina. Both teams coming in on a 4-game winning streak. This is the 111th edition of this rivalry. 3rd down and 5 on the opening possession of the game for the Tigers. Taj Boyd complete for the first down at the 37-yard line to Adam Humphries, a gain of 8.
When you're a tempo offense and they have to utilize that up-tempo nature in this stadium against this defensive line, getting that first down of the game so critical.
Watkins in motion. They hand it off to McDowell. Found a nice seam and got some great blocks. And gains a first down into territory, South Carolina territory, and a gain of 14 on the play.
Smooth. Offensive coordinator Chad Morris said that run game right there will set everything up. It'll slow down Clowney. It'll get those safeties' eyes focused into the run game and really allow Boyd to get comfortable, more comfortable than he's been in this matchup over the last 3 seasons.
Boyd given time. Completes another pass, this time down to the 43-yard line. Humphries again, his 2nd reception, good for 5 yards. Golightly making the tackle on the play. Taj Boyd has never defeated South Carolina. And Jadeveon Clowney said during media day earlier this year that he could sense that Boyd was a little bit afraid of their defense. High snap. Complete again to Humphries again. And he was working against Jimmy LeGree that time. 13 yards, Brock, and another first down.
Well, that's a nice way of saying it, that he was a little bit afraid. What he said is he was scared, and I could feel that he was scared. You can water it down all you want, but in a rivalry game and in catching up with Taj Boyd before the game, he said it wasn't just Clowney. It's this entire stadium, this campus that thinks he's scared behind center. How do you shut him up? Well, you do it what you're doing on this drive. Get the ball out of your hand and move the ball.
Looking for a double pass. Watkins has a man. Intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by Wilson. Williams with the pick.
Mark, I like the call, I really do, but this throw has got to beat the safety, and when you've got receivers making these kind of passes, well, they're not going to be precise, and you see South Carolina not buy on the double pass. You kept your depth as the free safety, and because of it, well, you're able to make an enormous interception. That's Bryson Williams, the junior, playing his assignment. And that's Sammy Watkins not putting enough steam on that ball because there was a chance for a touchdown on the opening possession.
Connor Shaw taking over first down and 10 from his own 20-yard line. Shaw, one of 5 seniors playing their last home game here. Complete on his first pass to Bruce Ellington. Keep in mind, folks, when you consider the amazing quarterbacks that have played in the SEC, he has to rank amongst the best. He is undefeated at home.
Well, I will say this. I will get any debate with any South Carolina fan that tries to tell me he's not the best in the history of their program. His win-loss, his stats, his numbers, playing big in big moments. No one's been better in the South Carolina uniform at that position.
Second down and 2 for the Gamecocks. Mike Davis takes the ball. And Davis stopped up right near that first down marker. Looks like they're going to spot it right at the 30-yard line. Mike Davis, the 5'9" sophomore, gets the first down for South Carolina. Both these teams, Brock, coming off a rather uncompetitive game last week against their respective opponents. So they're well rested.
And South Carolina got a chance to sit a lot of their stars. Clowney doesn't play. Davis doesn't play. Ever so slowly here, Davis is crawling out of that shadow of Marcus Lattimore, over 1,000 yards, and much like Clemson wants to establish the run, South Carolina does as well.
Shaw to the shotgun again. Hands it off, and nowhere to go that time for Mike Davis again. Davis ran for 1,112 yards this year. Stopped up by Curse. The second down and 10 coming up. No gain on that play. He, of course, the brother of James Davis that played at Clemson. And he's looking to get out of the game for some unknown reason right now. He'll come to the sidelines. Leads the SEC in rushing per game. Shaw open, complete. Shaq Rowland with the reception and another first down, a pickup of 13. He was working against Darius Robinson. Connor Shaw, remember last year, did not play in this game against Clemson because of an injury. Getting a great chance here tonight. Now Sean Carson in the ball game at tailback. Mike Davis on the sideline. A quick 3-step drop and a completion over midfield, this time to Demir Bird, working against Rashawn Breeland.
Well, what you're going to see tonight with both of these quarterbacks is a tremendous command of their offense, and because of it, lots of anticipation. Boyd goes up and down the field on his opening drive because he knows exactly what South Carolina's doing and where his outlets are. And as you see with Connor now, a senior in this system, been with Spurrier for 4 years, is just a great awareness of where everybody is. It's 1, 2, it's 3, and then his capability to run as well.
Second and 2. Hands it off to Sean Carson, and Carson stopped up a little bit short of the first down by DJ Reader. It'll be 3rd and short coming up.
It's going to be one of the fun matchups tonight. Everybody's eyes will be on the defensive ends, and Clowney and Vic Beasley, number 3 for Clemson. He's got 10 sacks on the year as well.
Now, he's the other guy.
That's exactly right. But Spurrier knows for both of these teams, their ability to run between the tackles. Going to be some pretty pitch and catch, and lots of guys that can make plays on the perimeter. But those hard yards, those hidden yards that can be found between the tackles, critical.
3rd and short, and Connor Shaw, a very prolific runner himself, gets enough for the first down for South Carolina. Almost a tale of 2 seasons for him, Brock. He was injured against Tennessee, and up until that point had been a very freestyle, freelancing type of runner, but his rushing yards curtailed after that, and now he's just starting to round back into form, running the ball.
And I think you're going to see him senior night in this stadium against this defense that likes to pressure. Wouldn't be surprised at all tonight if 2 or 3 runs are the difference from Shaw.
Great wild card to have at quarterback. Airs it out downtown, and good coverage down the sideline intended for Rowland, but Darius Robinson was there stride for stride with him. 2nd down and 10 coming up.
52 touchdowns to 15 interceptions. Steve Spurrier, the old ball coach, loves to still call these plays. And for so many years here in his time in South Carolina, everybody said, well, when's he going to get his quarterback? He's had so many of them at Florida. You can run through all of the names, and the Werfels, and the Doug Johnsons, and the Shane Matthews. When are you going to have a difference maker at this position? His decision-making has been so critical to the wins and losses.
2nd and 10, fires incomplete. Intended for Bruce Ellington. It'll be 3rd and long coming up now for the Gamecocks. Well, Steve Spurrier was effusive in his praise of Connor Shaw yesterday when we had a chance to meet with the old ball coach, and wondering aloud why he isn't more looked at nationally amongst the elite quarterbacks when you consider the fact that Shaw has 20 touchdown passes to just 1 interception this year, Brock. That's pretty impressive. 3rd and 10. 10th play of the drive. Finds his man for the first down, and then some. Amir Byrd with a catch, and a pickup of 14. They'll move the chains again.
Coach Spurrier talked a lot about these curl routes. Clemson's a group that loves to zone blitz. You see it there, the defensive end trying to drop underneath that Shaq Lawson, the true freshman. But they bring the inside linebackers on a double gut blitz, fire zone, and Shaw, like I said earlier, has the command of this whole offense, finds the open man.
Now they're going to use the old Wildcat formation. Shaw split out wide. Cooper takes the snap and throws it, and incomplete. Intended for Connor Shaw. Little role reversal, and Shaw looks at the DB. Darius Robinson says, hey, I might have had that one. Don't sleep on me.
I hope that ball was tipped.
That's why Cooper's playing wide receiver and not quarterback. Mike Davis back in the ball game. 2nd down and 10. Shaw complete down to the 14-yard line. Shaq Rowland with a catch. A gain of 18 on the play. Want to welcome you who are just joining us to Williams-Brice Stadium in Columbia, South Carolina. It's the SEC on ESPN, the 111th edition of Clemson against South Carolina. Gamecocks with the football, 1st down and 10, driving down the field at Clemson's 14-yard line. Might be an offside penalty and incomplete. Into the end zone, intended for Ellington again. But there's a flag on the play.
Offside, 93 defense, 5 yards, no first down.
Here's a look at the play that gave South Carolina the football. Sammy Watkins on a double pass intended for his receiver, but Bryson Williams picked it off, and since that point they've driven it all the way down from deep in their own zone and now in the shadows of Clemson's end zone. Mike Davis back in the ball game. Shaw close to the first down, and he'll end up just a little bit short. Picked up 4 on the play. Connor Shaw, a very prolific runner as well as passer. Winningest quarterback in school history.
Yeah, over 1,500 yards on the ground, 15 rushing touchdowns as well. And such a really good fit for Steve Spurrier. And you're right, Mark. The ball coach yesterday, I just don't understand why he doesn't get the national respect that so many do. He's been just absolutely flawless in this stadium.
2nd and 1. Davis going to be stopped up in the backfield. Great defensive surge and penetration from Grady Jarrett. Now it's 3rd and goal. This Clemson defense, Brock, improved from a season ago.
Well, they're winning between the tackles, and watch Grady Jarrett there, the sneaky heavyweight state wrestling champ. 62 tackles on the year for the defensive tackle. The leading tackler for the Gamecocks has 43. To put into context and perspective, the difference maker he's been from his position on the field.
15th play of the drive, their longest of the season. Davis gets the call and brought down at the 2-yard line, enough for the first down though. Stephon Anthony with the tackle, but it's 1st and goal for South Carolina.
He is strong, and very rarely on tape this year do you see one guy knocking him backwards. He gets those pads north and south. He's tough to bring down.
Davis stoned behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard that time. Mike Davis, as coaches tell us, loves to challenge those defenders. He has a defensive mindset as an offensive player.
What did South Carolina say? How did they win, and how have they won 4 in a row against Dabo? Exactly what you're seeing on this drive. Keep that high-powered, prolific offense over on the sidelines, exactly where Boyd and company have been for nearly this entire first quarter.
2nd and goal. Shaw gonna take off. Got the pylon. Touchdown.
Whatever it takes. This is just a little rub route. They love to run these routes on 3rd down and down around the goal line. And that's Connor Shaw outrunning your middle linebacker. That's one-on-one. Sneaky athletic is Connor Shaw. That's how he's gotten those 1,500 yards and now 16 rushing touchdowns in his career. You take away the routes, you take away the natural progression of the read, doesn't matter. He can be a difference maker and has been.
17 plays, and it's 7-0, their longest drive of the season. It was surgical and methodical. The Gamecocks with the lead. Let's go back to Wendy Nix first. Big news from the studio. Well, the votes are in, and the fans have deemed this the blimp-worthy game of the week. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear, where there is superior performance. Goodyear is there. Goodyear, more driven. You talk about driven, Brock. I'm still shaking my head over the victory by Auburn over Alabama. Not so much that they won, how they won it on a field goal miss, run back for a touchdown.
Team of destiny. You don't get 4th and 18 and a tip pass as they did. just a couple weeks ago. An opportunity after opportunity in that game tonight, and in the end, yeah, I don't think anybody could have predicted that outcome.
Well, this one's going to come out to the 20-yard line. The folks here in Columbia, South Carolina, going to do some scoreboard watching of their own and become Johnny football fans, if you know what I mean.
ESPN College Football Primetime, brought to you by Audi, Truth in Engineering, and GoPro, the world's most versatile camera. GoPro, be a hero.
This was the scene a couple of hours ago. The South Carolina Gamecocks entering Williams-Brice Stadium. Up and down and all along George Rogers Way. A lot of excitement throughout the week for this matchup. Clemson with the ball at their own 25. A couple of broken tackles by McDowell. And a nice gain. He got around Clowney and picked up 6. Interesting, Brock. We didn't say Davian Clowney's name much during that first drive.
Well, that's what happened when you don't hold on the ball. And they ran the ball just enough, and Taj Boyd was getting it out. Number 1 was open time and time again in his progression. That tempo going to slow down any good rush.
Boyd has a man. Got him at the 40. Watkins still on his feet. And Watkins out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Gave you some great yards after the catch. And Weed by Hampton picking up 56.
Well, you're looking at the top 10 pick, in my opinion. That's just a one-on-one situation, and they're going to match up their best corner, Victor Hampton, throughout most of this evening on Watkins, but he shows you right there. There's very few in college football with that kind of athleticism.
They run it this time on first down onto the 8-yard line. McDowell again. Let's take a look at tonight's Impact Players, brought to you by Chick-fil-A.
Lots of matchups, but most of the eyes and lots of scouts will be watching this one tonight. Brandon Thomas, left tackle, first team All-ACC a season ago, got beat up in this matchup with Clowney. Clowney 4.5 sacks at Clemson in 2012. They'll put him in one-on-one. They'll help with the tight end. They will mix and they will match throughout the day. But keep your eyes on that one. 2 guys that have an opportunity to play on Sunday. One that should be the number 1 pick.
Yet to make his mark in this game. Boyd, touchdown, Tigers. Great decision on the option.
12 minutes in, I think I can definitively say he's not scared.
I would agree. Boyd with his 9th rushing touchdown of the season. There was no fear in his eyes on that run. The big play, the catch and run for 59 yards by Sammy Watkins. They score in just 4 plays, using up just 1:38 on the clock. Taj Boyd trying to leave a great legacy. He already has, but this would be a great punctuation mark with a win here tonight.
This is the ESPN Rivalry Series, presented by GoPro.
Welcome back, everyone, to a brief look at the series history. This is the 111th meeting between these two teams. South Carolina looking for its first 5-game win streak in the series. Clemson has won more than 5 in a row before, pre-1941. But they throw the numbers out when it comes down to Orange against Garnet.
Well, if you've watched college football, Ohio State, Michigan, Oregon, Oregon State, Auburn, Alabama just moments ago, that adage tends to run true quite often.
Cooper out to the 26-yard line. Cooper was the one tried to throw that pass to Shaw a little bit earlier. Fell incomplete. We're going to take a short break and come back after this. Welcome back, everyone, to Columbia, South Carolina. Jadeveon Clowney, so far, Brock, how would you characterize his overall impact on the game?
Incomplete, and a real credit to Clemson. This is all built within their system. That's the advantage they have tonight Yeah, there'll be some focus on him. And talking to Chad Morris this week, he said on every single play, we'll know where he's at. But the misdirection, the chip, the play action pass, the zone read, everything that Clemson lives in anyway.
4.5 sacks in this game a season ago. South Carolina on offense right now, though. They hand it off to Mike Davis, the sophomore from Lithonia, Georgia. Picks up a few yards. 2nd and 7 coming up. On a designated quarterback run. Got out to about the 32-yard line. Got 4 on the play, folks. Get your NFL Sunday started on ESPN at 10 a.m. It's Sunday NFL Countdown. Chris Berman and the crew with all the news updates from around the league right up to kickoff. Plus, a special feature on Russell Wilson this week. And also, before you set your lineups, catch Fantasy Football Now at 11 a.m. on ESPN2 as our experts provide you with the latest news and top fantasy performance. 3rd and 3. Shaw under heat. Incomplete. Not sure whether he was trying to throw that away, Brock, or whether he tried to find Rory Henderson as tight end. Either way, it's 4th down, and they'll have to punt. Good pressure, though, up front from Deshaun Williams and Stephon Anthony.
Well, Brent Venables is going to be aggressive. That's who they are defensively. Much like their offense loves to attack at Clemson, Brent Venables is eager to bring the pressure. And on that 3rd and medium, a lot of defensive coordinators like to bring blitz and play man anyway. They get home, and they force the throw away.
Hole with the punt. Adam Humphries. Little contact, it bounced loose. Recovered by South Carolina. Kai Moore, one of the players in the area for South Carolina, and it's Gamecock football. That thing ricocheted off of Humphries' shoulder pads, it looked like.
And it was friendly fire. Unfortunately, there's going to be no interference call here because, well, it was his own teammate that could not get out of the way. Unfortunately, it was Martavis Bryant flying down there. And Dabo Sweeney said to me right before I came up here to the booth, he said, we just can't turn the ball over. When you go on the road in this environment, in fact, we've got to win the turnover battle, much like Florida State did in our place. And now you've seen already, not even 1 quarter through here, an interception and a huge, huge fumble on the punt.
5 yards, still 1st down.
We got an illegal formation on South Carolina, so it'll be 1st down and 15. 12 men on the field. Of course, that's cool if you're playing Canadian football. Look at the turnover numbers for South Carolina. Last 4 games, they've been a +11. Both teams on a 4-game winning streak coming in. They set up the screen to Davis. And Davis across the 40 to the 38-yard line. Spencer Suey made the tackle, a couple of 6 on the play. Looked like they saw the blitz coming there a little bit, partner.
Well, that's all anticipation. And as a play caller, you saw the earlier blitz, and Brent Venables really this 1st quarter has been quite aggressive. How do you offset pressure? Draws, screens, sprint pass, movement. In this neck of the field here, boy, you love to take a shot every once in a while, don't you?
The backfield incomplete. Intended for Davis.
Incomplete by Davis.
And it'll be 3rd down and 10 coming up. A lot of talk about this Clemson defense, Brock, going back to a season ago. They've made a big improvement. How would you characterize how and why they're better this year?
I think comfort within the scheme and the system and understanding why you're calling the blitzes, why you're running the schemes in which you have installed. And then secondly, they've added a lot of speed. all throughout, and they've got a lot of young players, but their pursuit to the football has been tremendous.
3rd and 10. Shaw on the move, and he's got a lot of room. Shaw tiptoes out of bounds with a first down at the 24, a 14-yard gain.
It was 3rd downs a year ago in this matchup, Mark, that just killed Clemson. They could not get off the field, and it was Dylan Thompson, and even Dylan Thompson at times running and scrambling. And 3rd and extra long, that should be advantage defense. You should find a way to get off the field. They couldn't a year ago, and that's not a good omen here in Columbia, South Carolina.
The 24, 1st down and 10. Play action, wide open. McLaurin inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. Connor McLaurin picks up 16. And that's going to be the end of the first 15 minutes of play. Carter Shaw scored the first touchdown for South Carolina and has them on the brink of another when we come back for the 2nd quarter.
Visit WatchESPN.com or download the Watch ESPN app to watch ESPN live anytime, anywhere. Brought to you by Vizio.
Welcome back, everyone, for the start of the 2nd quarter. ESPN College Football Primetime. Boy, what a great series this has been throughout the years between Clemson and South Carolina. South Carolina's won the last 4 in a row, looking for their first 5-game win streak in the series. Overall, Clemson leads the series. Brandon Wilds in the ballgame, 1st and goal for the Gamecocks. Shaw on the fade. Caught. Touchdown! Shaq Rowland. Great precise pass here, Brock.
You can't throw it any better than that. It's not a great route. Rowland gives a lot of ground. There was no room other than that spot that Connor Shaw puts the football in. I think you're seeing why the kid's 16-0 here at home. I think you're also seeing the depth of personnel that South Carolina, as this year has grown. You've seen Rowland's development, Bird's development. Ellington's been a stud. This offense getting a lot more diverse in its talents.
A lot more balanced than a lot of people might think. Connor Shaw with his 21st touchdown pass this season against just 1 interception and the 53rd of his career. This is what started it all. The muffed punt and the recovery by South Carolina. And the Gamecocks lead it by 7 on a great catch by Rowland. Yeah, that's my kind of night. That's my kind of night. Welcome back, everyone, to Columbia, South Carolina. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. The Gamecocks leading the Tigers 14-7. And one of the most hotly contested, heated rivalries in all of college football.
You want to know when you know you got a good one? When you've got
you got live mascots?
No. when you run to break and this stadium doesn't stop.
Watkins on the return. And Sammy Watkins brought down right around the 20-yard line. We'll go back to the studio and Wendy Nix. Wendy?
Mark Jones, as a Dr. Pepper 10 conference update, we revisit the Iron Bowl of all Iron Bowls, the 57-yard field goal attempt here by Adam Griffith, Robert, with the second on the clock. Chris Davis, the 100-yard return of the missed field goal, and it ends this game. Auburn wins. And that 1 second was put back on the clock after a review of the previous play. You think that you have every scenario covered. They didn't have that one covered. Just when you've seen it all, Mark Jones, you have it.
Yeah, you can't blink when it comes to these rivalry games. 2nd and 10 coming up for Clemson. Whether it's orange or garnet, there are no shades of gray when it comes to Clemson against South Carolina. 2nd and 10. And off to McDowell and nowhere to go. It'll be 3rd and long coming up for the Tigers. Sky Moore making the stop on the play. How much do these other guys figure into the equation when Clowney gets double teamed so much?
Oh, they're a big part of it, and especially in these situations. I'd be pretty surprised in 3rd and extra long if you're going to leave Clowney in a one-on-one as often as Clemson did a season ago. And this is when the rest of the guys have to take advantage of their opportunities. And let's see what Lorenzo Ward does here, really for the first time in a 3rd and obvious pass down.
Watkins in motion. Boyd finds him. Watkins still on his feet. Let's see where they mark this. About a yard short of the 1st down. So it'll be 4th and short. There was a missed tackle by Sky Moore, and he picked up 10. One more look. He looked to be a little bit short there, Brock.
What tremendous effort, and that's what Watkins is bringing to the table this year. We saw it already in the 1st quarter, the big chunk post pass play down the field. And unfortunately, you can't live in 3rd and 13s. Not on the road, not against this defense with their speed.
Cooper back from this punt. Cooper calling for the fair catch at the 32-yard line. A 38-yard punt. Nothing on the return. Downstairs to Jessica.
You guys, usually here, week to week, it's always the same preparation. But for South Carolina's defense, it was different this week. According to defensive coordinator Lorenzo Ward, he said Thursdays are usually laughter, a lot of fun. He said this week, not even a smile. He said they were so focused, they could ask him any question on Clemson's offense, and they were 100% correct. Normally, very different, but for a rivalry week, obviously, they're a lot more intense.
So much emotional capital being burned in this game by both teams.
And that's a bad sign right there. 32-3 for Dabo Swinney when they win the turnover battle. In their other game this season, marquee game against Florida State, it was the turnovers that doomed them early.
1st and 10, Davis on the handoff. Davis plowing forward for a couple of yards, picked up 2. Mike Davis has been a great story this year for South Carolina, running for over 1,000 yards, 1,112 coming in, averaging a little over 6 per. And he originally committed to the University of Florida up in Gainesville and changed his mind when he discovered that the recruiting situation was a little bit different from the one that he initially thought. Coach Wood kept in touch with him, and subsequently Davis changed his mind. He decided to attend school in Columbia. Shaw top and incomplete. Had his man, Bruce Ellington, who will wear a pair of basketball shorts when football season is over.
Just a little bit more touch on that pass, but can you see what we were talking about last quarter? Just the awareness and the command of the full field. Young quarterbacks, it's a 1-2 and run. It's half field progressions. With Connor Shy in this system as a senior and having spent 4 years here with Steve, even when he misses, he still knows exactly where he wants to go with the ball.
3rd and 8. Shaw finds his man over the middle, complete for the 1st down. Brandon Wilds, who's back in the lineup and playing well here tonight after suffering a dislocated elbow against UCF.
So disheartening when you play good defense and you get it to 3rd and 8 and the odds tell you get off the field. The odds tell you you're an advantage defensively, and it's just not been the case in this matchup.
Wilds picked up 10. You saw the threat that Shaw posed to run a moment ago before finally throwing it. Blitz coming. Shaw throws it up. And incomplete. No flag on the play, and we'll go back to Wendy in the studio.
Mark, thank you. Gamecock fans, keeping an eye on Missouri as well. If Mizzou wins, they will head to the SEC championship game. Missouri, Texas A&M scoreless now in the 1st quarter on ESPN. Mark?
All right, thanks a lot, Wendy. A lot of fans here keeping an eye on that Texas A&M Missouri game, and a lot of them are suddenly becoming Johnny football fans. Looking for that A&M win. And South Carolina would appear in the SEC championship game. Shaw, incomplete, dangerously into traffic. And Stephon Anthony broke it up. Intended for Brandon Wilds. It'll be 3rd and 10 now.
3rd and 10. On the game clock at the 44-yard line.
This is the money down, and this is where Connor's ability to improvise, his ability to extend the plays, such a benefit to this offense. And for Clemson, to quiet this crowd and turn the momentum back in their favor, you have got to find a way in these moments to get off the field.
Shaw steps up, and there he is taking off to daylight. And he stings and burns that Clemson defense with another one of his improvisational runs. Picks up 14.
And this is just a nightmare for Dabo Swinney, who told us on the phone this week. It was this play last year, a 3-point game in the 4th quarter. And Dylan Thompson, who cannot run in any way like Connor Shaw. That's 3rd and 19. Look at the time. Look at the opportunity. And those 3rd downs were so devastating last year, just as they've been here in the first 20 minutes of play.
Hand it off to Wilds, and Wilds between the tackles gets about 3. Brandon Wilds, a 6'2" sophomore. Mike Davis also getting carries tonight.
And what's real challenging here for Brent Venables, as you see Corey Crawford coming off the field with his helmet, is you've seen a 3-man rush. You've seen a 4-man rush. You've seen a zone blitz. They've really thrown everything at Connor Shaw here on 3rd down, and he's had the trump card.
Wilds again picked up about 2 yards. 3rd and 5 coming up for South Carolina. What do you look at, Brock? You got so many different targets. Rowland has shot, caught a pass tonight. Ellington, Cooper has been involved a lot. They've even been lined up in the Wildcat.
Well, I think you probably anticipate a little man coverage here because it's been zone on the last couple 3rd downs. And against man, this is where Spurrier loves to run those little rub routes to free up some of the speed he has on the perimeter.
3rd and 6. Low snap for Shaw. Has a man perfectly caught. Ellington.
I love the X's and O's, and this is the chess match, and you anticipated man, and you rub off your receiver, and that's exactly what South Carolina gets. That's why you stack your receivers there, Mark. So when you get bump and you get press man, well, you free up the release for an Ellington. And that's just unfair. The true freshman there, Wiggins, no match for the speed and the scheme of South Carolina.
Ellington had a couple of touchdowns in this game last year. Mike Davis in the backfield after a 29-yard gain. On the draw, Davis with nowhere to go. He'll lose a yard on the play. That'll be 2nd down and goal.
And we asked Coach Spurrier yesterday, sitting in his coaching office, so when these high school coaches come to you and they say, how do you do it? Give me your plays. How do you call these plays? And he said, well, frankly, I've never been asked that. And I don't know if he was just dodging a question, but great play callers, the best of them in the business.
I can't believe
they think one step ahead.
I can't believe that the high school coaches don't come down here seeking a little bit of knowledge and wisdom. 11th play of the drive coming up. Shaw with tons of time and now running it. Brought down, though. Great pursuit by Corey Crawford, who's back in the ball game after coming out a play or 2 ago, limiting that to a 2-yard gain by Connor Shaw. 3rd and goal.
Just look at the time of possession. You want to stop a prolific offense, put them on ice. Taj Boyd and that crew sitting on the sidelines for the majority of this first half. (36-14) right now, the number of plays for South Carolina to their counterparts in a tempo system that loves to try to get those plays and the volume of plays up.
South Carolina.
And Steve Spurrier is going to call his first time out of the half. 2 remaining now, and we're going to take a timeout with them. Back after this.
ESPN College Football Primetime, brought to you by Jared the Gallery of Jewelry. Truly unique designs that you won't find just anywhere. That's why he went to Jared. And Cadillac.
One of the scenes from last year's game, Clowney and Boyd. You know, Brock, I had a chance to take the pulse of some of the fans in this rivalry this week. It's really been something as contested hotly as ever. 3rd and goal coming up. Good movement up front. Tipped at the line of scrimmage and incomplete, but will they get another opportunity? Deshaun Williams tipped that one at the line, and here's the call.
Offside. Defense number 3. The penalty is half the distance to the goal. Still 3rd down.
That's on Vic Beasley, who leads them with 10 sacks.
Yeah, I don't know what he's arguing about or complaining about. That was pretty clear. When you cross into that neutral zone and you draw the offensive tackle Robinson off sides, well, you're going to get flagged.
3rd down coming up, and Brock, you have to win 3rd down to be successful. They're 7 of 8 on 3rd down already tonight. Pretty proficient. Three receivers out to the top of the screen. Shaw with the jump pass. Incomplete. It almost looked as if one of the officials obstructed the receiver, Shaq Rowland. Regardless, though, it'll be 4th down. One more look. Didn't help.
Well, that's still your responsibility. You have got to dodge the umpire there.
Elliott Fry now going to attempt this field goal from 21 yards out. He's made 8 of his last 9. And this one is good. The Gamecocks leading by 10 with 8:25 to go in the first half. We'll be back after this. All the votes are in, and the fans have deemed this the blimp-worthy game of the week. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Where there's superior performance, Goodyear is there. Goodyear, more driven. What a night for college football here in the state of South Carolina. I checked in with some of my friends this week in Myrtle Beach. Fred Battle down there. And this is Peggy Nybird up in Clinton, South Carolina. I know is cheering for her Clemson Tigers all through the state. Passions evoked as Sammy Watkins grabs this one at the goal line. And Watkins out of bounds at the 32-yard line. Folks, a couple of the NFC's elite teams headline Monday Night Football as Drew Brees and the Saints face Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. Coverage begins with Monday Night Countdown at 6:30. Then it's New Orleans, Seattle. Next Monday at 8:25 on ESPN and also live on the Watch ESPN app.
There's 2 of the 14 in the history of college football that have thrown for over 100 touchdown passes. I don't know if Taj is going to catch Russell, but a pretty good display Monday night.
There's McDowell. Great seam up the middle. And McDowell into South Carolina territory at the 38-yard line. A 28-yard gain.
He's shifty, isn't he?
Oh, boy. Tigers offense has been on the sidelines for a long time, Brock. 1st and 10. Boyd sacked back at the 45, and a flag down 2. Quarles, who leads the team with 7 sacks, may have gotten a face mask.
Holding, 58, offense. Penalties decline. Second down.
Quarles the first to get there.
And that's called taking that offensive center, Ryan Norton, for a ride. The big man, Quarles, he's looking at his NFL future, and Boyd was looking out his ear hole on that play as 300 pounds in his face.
Under heat again, and there's Clowney. That's the meeting they talked about.
And I'll be honest with you, Mark, 2.5 of those 4.5 sacks were of that variety a year ago. And that's a one-on-one between Clowney and Brandon Thomas. And I can't kill Brandon Thomas. That sack, that's on Taj Boyd. You cannot fall into the pass rusher. You have got to step up. In fact, you see the running back there, Smith. He's there to chip in to help. You have got to climb in the pocket. But that Quarles hit on the first down, that helped force that flush.
Third and forever. Incomplete. And the momentum swinging South Carolina's way.
Does that make sense? On that early down, you're trained as a quarterback, and I was watching those Clemson quarterbacks work in pregame. They work really hard with Chad Morris on their fundamentals. You're taught to climb in the pocket, but on first down, Quarles is right in his face. So what does Taj do on second? Well, he retreats, and unfortunately retreats right into Jadeveon Clowney, and that's an unfortunate finish to a promising drive.
From the 18-yard line, Hampton. Victor Hampton brought down after the 37-yard punt, 5 on a return. South Carolina looking for its 10th win of the season. Well, during Media Day earlier this year, this was the quote from Jadeveon Clowney on Taj Boyd. I can tell Boyd is scared back there. He ain't no sitting duck. You can see it in his eyes. He's scared of our D-line. He's scared every time we play him. Brock, your thoughts on how that plays into today's game?
Yeah, I don't see a scared quarterback. Unfortunately, here you see Taj with a breakdown of fundamentals. And when you're playing a really good elite pass rusher, especially one of the length and the size of Clowney, your thought as a quarterback's got to be, I got to step up in that pocket. Even if that D-tackle Quarles hits you on first down, you cannot be to the detriment of your left tackle and fall right back into that big old wingspan of Clowney.
Clowney with only 2 sacks on the season coming into the game tonight. 1st and 10 for Connor Shaw in South Carolina from the 21. A quick toss into the boundary. Davis. He's got about 2 yards on the play. Jarrett making the tackle.
I like him.
Clemson.
Man, I really like Grady Jarrett. He really came on a season ago. But there's something about wrestlers and shot putters. And when you're a state champion out of the state of Georgia, you're doing something right. Just a little bit over 6 foot, just shy of 300 pounds. Over 60 tackles on the season. You get that kind of productivity. You asked me earlier, why has this defense improved? Why are they better than last year? Yeah, when you get your big boys up front to make tackles, you got a shot to be pretty good on early downs.
The Wildcat formation with Farrell Cooper taking the direct snap here. He's going to run with it. Into the short side of the field. Got an alley, but was tripped up by nobody in particular. Got a great block from A.J. Cann. And you can tell he's frustrated because he had an opportunity, Brock.
Oh, yeah, his own guy, unfortunately, because there was a whole bunch of green grass. And I'm glad you pointed out A.J. Cann. Just like Jarrett's a difference maker on that defensive line down in the phone booth, A.J. Cann, by far the best South Carolina lineman as Spurrier keeps Cooper in the Wildcat.
Again on the direct snap, takes off the other direction. And not as much success this time. Great form tackle on the play by Darius Robinson, providing great support from his corner spot. A loss of 1 on the play. 2nd down and 11.
The Tigers have to find a way to get off the field here defensively. This has just been a first half that South Carolina has owned the time of possession. With an offense like they have, and a Watkins and a Boyd that are capable of explosion plays, they need to get themselves off the field.
Shaw tucks it under. He's going to take off.
Shaw, the keeper.
Got about 2 yards on the play. Back to Wendy in the studio.
4-yard line.
Mark, thank you. A lot on the line for Missouri at the Dr. Pepper 10 conference update. Mizzou, of course, facing Johnny Manziel, Texas A&M on ESPN. Trey Carson on the carry, powers his way in the end zone, 29 yards, and it's Texas A&M with the 7-0 lead over Missouri.
Right, Wendy, we already know there's a lot of Johnny football fans here. Now there's some Trey Carson fans in Columbia, South Carolina. Of course, if A&M defeats Missouri, South Carolina would win the East and be in the conference championship game. Shaw throws it up for grabs, and a dynamic play by Bruce Ellington. Used those basketball skills and sealed his man for the catch, Brock.
3rd and 9, and this has just been the difference. And you can see it in Dabo Swinney, hands on his hips, shaking his head. And this is all Ellington here. Play breaks down. Love that. Love no penalty there. Let the guys fight in a rivalry game, and Ellington showing you the strength of a point guard. Willing to get down and dirty in the paint, right?
Yeah, right after the season ends, he'll get those basketball shorts on and play for head coach Frank Martin, who's doing a great job as the basketball coach here. Mike Davis in a tailback on 1st down. Little out and up. And incomplete. Nick Jones seemed to stumble and fall on his way to trying to make that catch. Working against Darius Robinson, who came over. It was 2nd down and 10.
I got to be honest with you. I'm not called a Steve Spurrier game for a few years, and you forget how good a play caller he really is. You get the 3rd down conversion.
What are the signatures of his play calling? Well, how would you characterize
He takes shots at the appropriate time, and you can see he's a little bummed because that's, again, winning the chess match. And they get the 3rd down conversion. He's anticipating. He's a play ahead. And right now he's got his quarterback playing at such a high level on 3rd downs, but he's mixing it, the run and the pass and the balance tremendously.
Little heat coming. Shaw picked it up but couldn't find his hot receiver, Shaq Rowland, in time. And it'll be 3rd down and 10. So Coach Venables doing his best to keep that Gamecock offense guessing a little bit here, Brock.
He is, but here you go. Here's the money down, and just watch Coach Venables, watch Coach Swinney on this 3rd and 10, and I'm sure Dabo is thinking, my goodness gracious, how long are they going to continue? It's been now 2 years on this down and distance.
Well, they're 8 of 10 on 3rd downs tonight. The Gamecocks winning the battle of 3rd down. About 3.5 minutes to go in the 1st half. Shaw fumbled it and got it back. Good heat up front from Vic Beasley, and I'm not going to say he was offside. Well, there's a flag on the play. He got off real quick, Brock.
Holding, 53 offense, penalties decline, 4th down.
Yeah, you've seen Beasley a couple times. In fact, offsides on the 3rd down in the red zone earlier. And watch him. Is this tremendous timing? I think it is. He's got his head in there. He sees the snap, and that's the leading sacker, and that's a huge play. They rush 4. They finally get home. Beasley, now 11 sacks on the season. That's how you get off the field in passing situations.
Loss of 15 on the play, and then comes Tyler Hull to punt. They came after him a little bit. He gets off a good one that bounces at the 35, and it takes a South Carolina bounce all the way to the 27-yard line. It'll be 1st down and 10 for Taj Boyd, trying to get a little momentum going. Well, Tuesday's college basketball double dip features 3 teams in the top 25. CJ Fair and Syracuse host the Hoosiers, and at 9:15, Glenn Robinson III, son of the big dog, leads the Wolverines into Cameron Indoor, taking on Jabari Parker and Duke. The Big Ten ACC Challenge presented by Dick's Sporting Goods Tuesday on ESPN. Both games also live on the Watch ESPN app. And there's a look at some Gamecocks who are two-sport athletes. Bruce Ellington, a heck of a point guard. He drops a few pounds, though, Brock. Got to get to that point guard weight. 1st and 10 for Taj Boyd. Hands it off to McDowell, who's brought down behind the line of scrimmage by Jadeveon Clowney.
He's got some reach, doesn't he? I mean, just look at the wingspan here. There's the kind of effort in the hands, getting chopped down. Doesn't matter. That's why those scouts covet 6'6" with that awfully long wingspan.
Boyd looking downfield, threads the needle complete. Wow, what a pass by Taj Boyd to Sammy Watkins for the first.
And if you're Clemson here, get back to what you did and establish in the first drive of the game. Get the ball out of Boyd's hands. Less time thinking, less time sitting in the pocket, more time dishing.
And sacked again, back to the 30. Lewis that time got to him.
And we just talked about trying to find a way to get the ball out of your hands. Clemson loves these little bubble screens. South Carolina, Lorenzo Ward said, we're going to bring heat up the middle. Just got to find a way, even if it's incomplete, to avoid the negative plays that have just ignited this crowd.
Second and long, Boyd going to take off. He can run a little bit, got to the 40-yard line. A gain of 11. Lewis again met him there. Well, what about Lorenzo Ward? His defense doing a nice job holding this high-powered offense of Clemson to just 7 points with under 2 minutes to go. And that's Lewis shaken up on the play after making the previous tackle as well. Let's go back to Wendy Nix in the studio.
Mark, thank you. Coming up on the Outback Steakhouse halftime report, we will relive that unbelievable finish to the Iron Bowl. Also a scare for Ohio State, and Johnny Manziel in Missouri, of course, in action right now on ESPN. We'll have the highlights of that game as well. We'll see you back here at the half.
All right, Wendy. Well, what about Lorenzo Ward? We had a nice meeting with him yesterday. It was very forthcoming, and a lot of his concepts. There he is on the sidelines, a pupil for a long time under Bud Foster at Virginia Tech, and he said that one of the abilities, one of the things that he learned from Bud, who's one of the best defensive coordinators in the entire country collegiately, is the ability of the defensive coordinator to get into the offensive coordinator's head.
It's the ultimate chess match. That's exactly what you're trying to do. Anticipate what he wants to do to attack you. Many times defensively you're in that reaction game, and then there's other opportunities like tonight where Coach Ward said, we're going to bring that pressure. I want to make sure that Taj Boyd can feel Clowney, make sure he can feel that blitz and that pressure up the gut. We saw it earlier on first down, now on third down. Just how much in the head of Chad Morris is Lorenzo Ward. Let's see what he cranks up here.
Out of the backfield, complete. First down and then some for McDowell. Still on his feet all the way down to the 32-yard line. So advantage offensive coordinator.
What a great call. What a great call. This is almost, well, a delayed screen. It was as if everybody was going to run off, and instead of getting those linemen out and showing screen, McDowell just sneaks out the redshirt senior to redshirt senior. What a huge conversion.
McDowell with another gaping hole all the way down to the 13-yard line. So Chad Morris pressing the right buttons this time. Seckinger, the tight end, with a nice block along the way for McDowell.
Yeah, he comes down and just cuts down Clowney right through the thigh pads. You've seen it time and again. Now you want to attack a very big man, go low and take him out.
McDowell again down to the 10-yard line. Got about 3 on the play, and now you sense, Brock, this Clemson offense getting some good rhythm going. And it looks like there's a timeout down in the field.
Clemson, first charge, timeout.
Clowney
It'll be 30 seconds.
sucking wind a little bit. Those longs working OT. 17-7, the Gamecocks with the lead over the Tigers. Mark Jones alongside Brock Ewer, Jessica Mendoza down in the field. Brock, we saw Clowney with his hands on his hip. No question, he was a little gassed there. That speaks of effort, though, right?
Oh, he's playing really.
And he's been criticized for that.
Well, no, he's playing hard tonight, and this is huge for Clemson. Right before halftime, all that emotion going in and out of half on a very emotional rivalry night. Now, this is a very big 50 seconds here, and you can still see Clowney. Hands on hips. He's shown a lot of effort here in the first half.
Little play action. Out of bounds. Boyd throws it away. He was under some heat and a flag. He wasn't outside that tackle box. Quarles was in his grill. We're going to see if there was a receiver in the area.
Intentional grounding. Number 10, offense. Penalty is a loss of down at the spot of the pass. Third down.
Boy, and that's a whiff, unfortunately, with some of the protection there. And Dabo doesn't like it. And he's screaming, that's a corner route. That's a corner route. It's just early. And usually those referees will give you a little bit of leeway.
Well, that pushes them back to the fringes of field goal range, too. Of course, Chandler Canizero, a very good field goal kicker.
Well,
it's 3rd and 26.
Now you must avoid the negative play here.
And Dabo Swinney going to take another timeout.
Clemson, second.
We'll take one with him.
Timeout. Timeout in 30 seconds.
Dabo Swinney was working those officials during the break, Brock. Why?
Well, the former wide receiver is screaming at the referee. It was a corner route by Sammy Watkins. Unfortunately, well, he gives up on it. And if he continues to run to the corner, I think they pull that flag. I don't think he gets the call. But it was such a breakdown in timing. Sammy doesn't finish the route. And Dabo not liking any part of it.
Loss of 19 on that one. So Clowney and the Gamecock defense going to pin their ears back and come, you'd think, on this one.
And it's been the pressure up the middle, the stunts and the blitzes right up the middle.
Boyd steps up in the pocket. He's going to run. Got some of that yardage back to the 21-yard line. 4th down coming up, and tempers flaring a little bit. Marquise Roberts and Boyd getting into it.
I'm a little surprised that Coach Spurrier is not calling the timeout. They'll get the ball back.
Ooh. Was that a punch?
I think it was a little love tap. I think it was a little push.
Okay, it was a push. got that do-rag or visor in the way. Something came down in Roberts' face. He couldn't see. Canizero in to attempt this field goal from 38 yards out.
Timeout. Clemson.
And the Tigers
Final charge,
use their 3rd and final timeout of the half with 1 second to go. If you're Swinney, it's been a rather frustrating first half, Brock, with just 7 points on the board for a team that averages, you know, over 40 a game. What do you say to them at the break?
Well, I think you continue to have the conversation that you weathered the storm here. This wasn't a pretty half. You didn't play great ball. Couldn't get off the field on 3rd down. You turn it over twice. And I think if we told Dabo going into halftime, that would be the situation. Well, I think he would take this, if they make this field goal, just a 1-possession game down 17-10. I mean, if you learned anything from college football today, and all the great games really over the last 4 days here with the Thanksgiving holiday, in these rivalry games, you better play to the very last second.
All right, here we go again from 38 yards out. Catanzaro, 12 of 13 on the season. And he knocks it through. So the lead down to just 7 points. And that's the way the half ends, with an infuriated Dabo Swinney. Let's go downstairs to Jessica. Jess?
Coach, Connor Shaw has been successful, especially here at home, but what has he done specifically tonight?
Oh, Connor's kept us in the game. We can't find a running play to make any yards right now, but we got to hopefully find some somewhere. But we've had a couple of chances, but we scored mostly touchdowns, only 1 field goal.
What are the biggest challenges that Clemson's offense has posed to you guys?
Oh, you know, our defense has played well. We've given up a few big plays here and there, but they only got 10 points, so we've played well thus far.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right, Jessica, 17-10 at halftime. But you get the feeling there's a lot of good football to come as we go to the studio and join Wendy for the Outback Halftime Report.
Welcome back to the ESPN Rivalry Series, presented by GoPro.
Under the lights at Williams-Brice Stadium, welcome back to ESPN's College Football Primetime. It's the SEC on ESPN tonight. Number 6 Clemson taking on number 10 South Carolina. The first time in this rivalry that both teams have been ranked in the top 10 when they've met. And before it's all said and done, number 7 and number 10, Clowney and Boyd, will have a lot to say in the final outcome. Clowney already with 1 sack in the first half. Mark Jones alongside Brock Heward. Jessica Mendoza down on the sidelines, folks. She'll be joining us in just a bit. Brock, always the turnover number, the plus minus, is a big barometer for the relative success of both South Carolina and Clemson. And in the first half, it was in the favor of the Gamecocks.
Yeah, the only time Clemson stumbled all season long was that Florida State game where it was -3 in the turnovers, and it's -2 in the first half. And a couple uncharacteristic errors here, and a double pass to Sammy Watkins. This is the opening possession after Clemson had marched it right down the field. And then South Carolina, like good teams do, teams that are having an opportunity to win the SECs, they take advantage of it. There you see the muff punt from Adam Humphries, and once again, Carolina puts 14 points on the board, capitalizes on those 2 takeaways.
Gamecocks will get the ball to begin the third quarter. Cooper, 2 yards deep, gonna take it out. Nice spin move, still on his feet. Has an alley. Down a lane, in the fast lane and into Clemson territory. TJ Green made the tackle finally. Let's go downstairs to Jessica.
Well, guys, this game has come down to 2 turnovers and 3rd down defense. That's according to Dabo Swinney. He told me at half. He also said we need to contain Connor Shaw. He said this is a 1-score game, and he smiled and he said there is a lot of game left.
And his defense has been on the field, Jessica, for a long time, as South Carolina's won the time of possession battle. 1-4 all time against the Gamecocks.
He's a fun guy, isn't he? He's just so effervescent. You enjoy being around him. We stayed at the team hotel. They were staying in the same hotel. Just a bounce to his step. Tremendous energy. His team plays with him.
Run by Davis. Got about 2 yards on the play. Yeah, he talks wonderfully about this senior class of his first class, 12 players, a group of young men that really changed the direction of the program and won the program's first ACC title in over 20 years, won 10 games 3 years in a row. But beating South Carolina has been the bane of their existence as Connor Shaw continues to be a thorn in their collective sides as he runs for 15 in a first down.
And beating this guy in this stadium has been impossible. He's undefeated for these very reasons you've seen on display tonight. His ability to extend and create down in the red zone on 3rd down when it matters the most. Time and again, Connor Shaw has gotten it done in his years here at South Carolina. And there's a reason Dabo Swinney said what he said to Jess. 9 of 12 3rd down conversions in the first half. And when you've got a guy that has the command of the entire offense, sees the whole field, and can do that, tuck it and get some significant yards at any time, he is tough to stop.
10 rushes for 47 yards. We'll run it with Mike Davis that time. Davis picked about 2 yards on the play. You see the field goal range line there, right around the 30-yard line for Elliott Fry.
And I'll say this as well. Jess caught up with Steve Spurrier going into halftime. The fact that Clemson has limited all these early down runs, don't forget about that. Mike Davis got nearly nothing in that first half. 1 yard per carry on 10 carries. And usually those 3rd and extra longs even out for a defense.
Ellington looking for the double pass. Ellington going to take off. His options limited, and he makes something out of nothing. Makes it down to the 21-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and about 2 or 3 to go. He picked up 7. Were they looking to throw it downfield again, Brock?
He was, and that was a wise decision there by Ellington, the point guard. Usually when you get a double pass, those skill guys never get to do that, and they 9 out of 10 times will chuck it up into coverage. Smart decision there.
Third and 2. Max lining up out of the eye this time. They run the ISO play. Oh, it's going to be close. Let's see where they spot it. Davis is going to come up a little bit short. 4th and short. Up a touchdown. Opening drive of the 3rd quarter. And they leave the offense on the field. They're going to go for it. Going quick. 19 of 27 on 4th downs. And Connor Shaw got piled up in that sea of humanity. I don't think he got it. Never got that surge up front going.
That's not close.
He barely got back to the line of scrimmage. Probably just passed it a little bit.
And that play once again indicative of so many of these runs for Steve Spurrier tonight. Just not getting any push between the tackles. Dabo Sweeney's defensive line has been very, very solid. And that's a back-to-back 3rd and 2, 4th and 1. Going into half, you get points. Coming out of half, you may have a tremendous stand here. That's how you quiet a hometown crowd.
Yeah, Clemson won that battle. And Sweeney getting his team a little crunk on the sidelines. And a good way to start the 3rd quarter for the Tigers. Let's see if Taj Boyd and Roderick McDowell and Sammy Watkins can parlay that defensive stand into some points here. They run it on 1st down. Not much room for McDowell. South Carolina had 4 sacks in the last 14 Clemson plays.
But when Taj did have time in the first half, you see a completion percentage, some of the decision making markedly better than it's been the last 2 years against this group.
Pass dangerously incomplete. Broken up on the play by number 9, Golightly.
You see the conversation there between the junior Watkins, the redshirt senior boy. That's just a little option route. And he's saying, man, throw that away from me. Look at that. Can feel the defender there. Usually you're going to throw that away from the contact. Not the case.
3rd and long.
Now watch this guy.
Play clock at 2. Downfield and incomplete. Well, any other quarterback might have tried to challenge the defensive end that was stride for stride with him, but when the defensive end is 6'6", 270 and runs as well as Clowney does, that forces the throw. They use up all of 39 seconds on the clock, Brock, and they got a punt.
Well, it's been a very consistent theme. They want to try to get that push. Almost every line stunt and blitz has been up the middle on Taj Boyd to get him to do that and get him to flush outside, especially to his left where he could do nothing but throw it away.
Indians punt comes down to Cooper right at the midfield stripe. Only 30 yards on the punt, and the Gamecocks will have good starting field position on this next drive. The tempers flaring a little bit down in the field. We're going to take a timeout and come right back.
Visit WatchESPN.com or download the Watch ESPN app to watch ESPN live anytime, anywhere. Brought to you by Vizio.
This was the scene prior to the game tonight at Williams-Brice Stadium. 5 scholarship seniors plus 1. Jadeveon Clowney honored, as most people, of course, expect him, and he's expected to enter his name into the NFL draft come April. We'd have a story if he didn't, Brock. 5 seniors on the roster, and Connor Shaw going to line up in that wide receiver spot out of this Wildcat formation. Pharaoh Cooper, we've seen this about 3 or 4 times already tonight. It's off to his left and picks up about 4 yards on the play. Shuey making the stop.
Yeah, this front seven's been pretty good against the run. It's really been the creativity of Connor Shaw that's been the difference in the run game. But Steve Spurrier showing you he's going to continue to try to search and find some element of his run game, because he knows that run sets up the play pass, slows down the rush, and really sets up the whole rest of the table.
Sacked back to the 47-yard line. Vic Beasley with another sack. Came into the game with 10. Well, he's been a problem for them up front at times tonight, Brock.
Well, that's a mismatch, and Corey Robinson's a big man, 6'8", 340 pounds, and you see the pad level there with Beasley. We've seen it with Jarrett. We've seen it at the number of these Tigers tonight. Not just the quickness, but he's getting underneath Robinson and really wreaking some havoc.
Loss of 8 on the play. Shaw taking a shot. Little contact and no flag on the play. 4th down coming up, and now a late flag.
That's going to be a hold. Yeah, and that's going to be a hold. Clearly, once again, same guy. That's Corey Robinson.
Holding, 53 offense. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
And Beasley showing you that there's not just one defensive end. It's got a bunch of moves here. Watch the inside rush. It was the speed move early. And that's just the crossover, and that's a no chance.
Wow.
For the redshirt junior Robinson. That's why you don't want to live in 3rd and extra long situations. Why it typically evens out throughout an evening. It's hard to continue to convert those at the rate they did in the first half. It's the defense rising up here in the second half.
Hull, as there's a flag back at the 34. Humphreys watches it bounce. They came after Hull a little bit. Ben Boulware ran into him.
Five-yard running into the kicker, number 10. 5 yards from previous spot. Replay, 4th down.
Wow. Might have sold it a little bit.
No, that's the right call. Yeah, you can. That's Boulware, the true freshman there.
We're going to do it again.
I bet he doesn't get as close this time. You want to bet?
That's how it works,
not going to make that mistake twice.
A high spiral. And that's going to be down at about the 12-yard line by South Carolina. 37-yard punt, nothing on the return. Still only down by a touchdown when we come back.
ESPN College Football Primetime. Brought to you by Subway. Go bold with the new Subway Sriracha Chicken Melt today. And Audi. Truth in Engineering.
I'm going to tell you what, folks, there's a lot of great grub in and around Columbia, South Carolina, but if you want some real great food and some vittles, some grits, some shrimp, Cockaboos right there prior to the game. That's the spot. Boyd on the run. Nice gain on the play, about 6. Roberts makes the stop. You know, Taj Boyd started 6 for 6, but he's just 3 of his last 7 passing the ball. And Brock, conspicuous by his silence so far, number 2, Sammy Watkins. Haven't heard much from him lately.
You know, you got the big play early. How about number 1 as well? Martavis Bryant averaging over 20 yards a catch. Very little right now out on the perimeter.
Boyd hands it off up the middle. McDowell again. It's going to set up a 3rd down and short. 3rd and 1 or 2, a long one to go. Clemson just 2 of 6 on 3rd down. Boyd on a designated quarterback run and picks up the 1st down at the 25-yard line. Picked up 4. You know, we talk about Clowney leaving as a junior. Sammy Watkins, a junior, expected to be a 1st-round pick as well, Brock. A talent on that field tonight. In the seam and complete. Adam Humphries making that catch, and another 1st down for Clemson. 13 on the game.
And this is why both teams are still trying to establish the run, because when you can establish the run, you can see it. There's not a linebacker in the picture, and if that throw is in a little better position, Humphries really has a chance to catch and run and be one-on-one with the safety.
Boyd gets it off, complete to Cooper, who slipped and fell, but picked up 4 on the play. Taj Boyd has never beaten South Carolina in his illustrious Clemson career.
Speaking of an NFL guy, he's a really intriguing prospect. And I would be pretty surprised if he doesn't go in the first 3 rounds of an NFL draft.
2nd and 6. Hands it off. McDowell picks up 3 on the play. Let me get back to Boyd. And what kind of guy do you see him being at the next level? Who's the comparison if you had to compare him to somebody?
Well, what you love at the next level, and you're going to see it on display Monday night with a Russell Wilson and a Colin Kaepernick and an RG3 and an Andrew Luck. So many of these young guys that can come into the league and don't have to be perfect in the passing game because, well, they've got the athleticism to move the chains and make plays. 2nd leading rusher, number 1 on this team with 8 rushing touchdowns. I expect some more running here in the final 22 minutes of his career.
Hands it off, and enough for the 1st down. McDowell into South Carolina territory. They're going to spot it at the 48-yard line. Picked up 7 on the play. And, of course, Taj Boyd did a lot of work during the offseason at that Whitfield Passing Academy, going through some of those unorthodox passing drills in the sand and in the water, and seems to have paid off with his accuracy this year.
This is now his 39th start. He's available, he's durable, he's tough, he's been incredibly productive, and he's got a future in the NFL.
There's Watkins on the fly sweep.
Sammy Watkins.
And Sammy Watkins with a gain of about 7. Got a nice block from McDowell along the way.
And how about this little mix? How about some interior runs, some quarterback runs, some end around? The one thing we've not yet really seen is these corners tested outside. The one deep shot earlier from Chad Morris, the one explosion play to Watkins. But eventually you've got to get Bryant, some of your perimeter people involved.
Boyd keeps it himself. Across the 40 down to the 38-yard line. Gerald Dixon makes the stop, a 4-yard gain, and this Clemson offense gaining a little bit more rhythm and holding onto the ball more importantly.
He's doing a little talking, isn't he, Mr. Boyd? We saw that before half, a little shove. And just about now, every time he's running, there's some chirping down on the field. He told me pregame, I said, Clowney, you've been talking some noise. He said, it's not just Clowney, it's this entire campus. His opportunity to quiet him here in the 2nd half.
The pass hit as he released it by Clowney. Clowney serving him a little wake-up call and a show of mutual respect right there and admiration.
Hey, Mark, this hurts. At least there was a little bit of a glancing blow.
Was that one of those Todd Boyd dapping him up saying, hey, nice hit, but you didn't hurt me? A little bit of that?
I think that is. I think that is a little gamesmanship there as you see some of the activity level of Clowney, and we expected him in his final game here to be revving all game long. He's been playing hard.
11th play of the drive. The screen well executed. McDowell had a couple of blockers ahead of him, but boy, the Gamecocks defense knifing through, and the forward progress going to be marked at the 36. Lewis was the first one to get there. 3rd down coming up. Big play for the Tigers offensively here. On the fringes of field goal range.
You've got to keep the play alive, but you're in field goal range, and you can't afford anything negative here.
Boyd on the rollout, fires a strike. Complete. And let's look at the spot. Short of the first down by about a yard to Adam Humphries. Got 6 on the play. Do you think about it, Brock, or is it a field goal?
I take the 3 here. I really do. The way your defense have played in the second half, and you've watched a lot of rivalry games, and you watched Nick Saban today turn down some field goals.
Did he ever? Kicking game, a strange thing and phenomenon in that SEC game between Auburn and Alabama. Play clock at 2. They're going to have to burn a timeout here.
Timeout. Clemson. First charge. Timeout.
4th and 1. And Dabo Swinney with a pivotal decision coming up on the other side of this. The votes are in, and the fans have deemed this the blimp-worthy game of the week. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear, where their superior performance, Goodyear is there. Goodyear, more driven.
What this tells me is that Dabo still has more confidence in his offense here down the stretch than he does his defense. And why not with the redshirt senior Boyd?
Going for it on 4th and 1. Boyd's going to keep it. Flag down. He didn't get there. Didn't even come close. Let's see who this flag is against.
It's going to be motion, I believe, against Clemson. Oh. Oh.
Offside. Defense. Defensive end was in the neutral zone at the snap. 5 yards. The penalty results in a first down.
Costly penalty against the Gamecocks.
Take a look at this. I thought it was motion on Watkins. It wasn't. And that is an enormous penalty against South Carolina when that front would have gotten them off the field.
Another flag down, and McDowell bursting up the middle for a nice gain, but is it going to stand?
False start. 86 offense. 5 yards. Still first down.
That's Sam Cooper. One of the few times tonight this Clemson offense has stayed on the field for a prolonged time and gotten a nice drive going here.
They've shown a ton of patience, haven't they? And really Boyd has throughout this night. Even though he took a couple sacks and haven't been in tremendous rhythm, this is arguably the best drive they've had since the opener, and it's a lot to do with his patience.
Boyd going to take off, got a nice block in front of him. And down to the 22-yard line. Lewis making the tackle on the play, and Boyd showing you why he's the only quarterback in ACC history to throw for 10,000 yards and run for 1,000. 2nd down coming up. 7 to go after that 8-yard gain. The slant complete, and it's 1st and goal from the 3-yard line. Martavis Bryant with the catch, and here come the Tigers, a 19-yard gain.
And watch Boyd just rip this skinny post. Eventually some of those plays on the perimeter are going to come when you're as patient as you are in the run game. Bryant making his presence known.
They run the fly sweep. Touchdown, McDowell. And we're a point away from being tied. And we have a player down on the field. And interesting to note that Jadeveon Clowney was not on the field during that touchdown run. So a very impressive drive by the Clemson Tigers. One of their longer ones of the evening. 15 plays, 88 yards. Almost 7 minutes on the clock. Here's a look at the injury. You saw Lewis go over the top of one of his teammates. Looks like Chaz Elder down in the field. McDowell with the score. They're knocking heads out there. 3:01 to go in the third. Back after this. Well, during the break, Chaz Elder, starting safety for South Carolina, able to get up and walk off the field there. And then now the extra point by Chandler Zara. And we are knotted at 17. It was all set up by that crucial offside penalty right here on 4th down. And then McDowell with his 5th rushing touchdown of the season, the 12th of his career. Boy, what a great day for college football with all the rivalries. Clemson, South Carolina here, the Iron Bowl, Auburn and Alabama, as we take a look at this week's BCS standings, brought to you by Tostitos. Cross it out there, partner.
How far do they now fall? And for the first time in a long time, as it sits here today, Florida State, Ohio State, they can take care of business against Duke and Michigan State.
Is there any way that one of those teams, Auburn, with that win, gets over, leapfrogs Ohio State?
You know, I'm not Brad Edwards, but no, I think when you look at those numbers and you really study them, and Ohio State getting to play in Michigan State, actually getting a quality opponent, no, I don't think there's any way a one loss is going to jump either of those undefeated. It's the first time Florida State undefeated since 1999 in this position, in the pole position.
Evoking memories of Chris Wenke back in the day. 3:01 to go. This will come out to the 25-yard line. A couple of the NFC's elite teams headlining Monday Night Football. Drew Brees and the Saints. Russell Wilson, the Seahawks. Coverage beginning with Monday Night Countdown, 6:30. Then it's New Orleans, Seattle next Monday at 8:25 on ESPN and also live on Watch ESPN. Your hometown team, partner, is rolling pretty good.
Going to be there Monday night. That is going to be quite a scene. Isn't that a cool picture with Russell Wilson and Drew Brees? Russell has looked up to Brees for so long. Two guys, a lot like Connor Shaw, in fact, that aren't prototypical, 6 foot tall or less, and yet fundamentally between Wilson and Brees, so sound.
See if the Gamecocks can steal back some of that momentum. This stadium has gone a little bit quiet of late. Pass complete to Bruce Ellington, but nowhere to go. Gained a yard on the play.
When you become one-dimensional defensively, and that's what South Carolina has really become here over the last 2 quarters. Connor Shaw, he's a leading rusher tonight by a long ways for South Carolina. And when that defense is controlling the run game the way they are, well, you can see it, can't you? Just the way that they are flying to the football, really have been in control here for some time.
Shaw fumbles the snap, and this play implodes. He'll take a loss of about 3 yards. A 3rd and long coming up for the Gamecocks. Who's this on, the quarterback or the center?
Yeah, I think unfortunately that's on Connor. He's trying to get out. That was going to be a movement pass with so much of the pressure that Clemson's brought. And unfortunately he doesn't secure the snap before he gets away. And now a 3rd and extra long And let's see if they help that left tackle out. It's been a mismatch right here with Beasley.
Gamecocks have been winning big time on third downs tonight. Shaw looking to take off. Tiptoes and gets close. Not sure that he got there all the way, though. Got close to the first down. About that much short. And you see his frustration. Wishing that he might have gotten that extra step. But what a great move here, Brock.
That's QB draw all the way. It was a 3rd and 19 QB draw that really was the turning point play a season ago. And look at the old ball coach.
Go for it. They keep the offense on the field. 4th and 1 with a minute to go in the third. Tie game. Spurrier taking a calculated gamble here, or will he? Call a timeout.
Timeout. South Carolina. First charge. Timeout.
Brock, let me ask you this. We saw earlier this quarter Dabo Sweeney gamble on 4th down. It worked out in part because of the offside penalty against South Carolina. You said it made a certain statement about his offense. What does this statement say if they go for it here, South Carolina? What is Steve Spurrier saying about his offense and how much confidence he has in his defense?
You can't make this decision. I mean, you just can't do it. It's one thing when you're driving down, as Clemson was, and they're in that no man's land. You're at your own 35-yard line. The momentum in this building has turned and has shifted. I think you're going to rethink this one, and I believe the guys are going to be in the staff to Steve Spurrier. I know he calls the plays. I know this is his program. But this would be quite a bold move from your own 34-yard line, and he's going to keep going with it. This can also be trying to draw them off sides. A pooch bomb, I mean, anything open to you here, but this is an incredible risk in comparison to what Clemson did going in.
From their own 34. Lining up in the shotgun. Ellington in motion. 4th and 1. There's the movement up front. Flags down on the play. But who's it against? Deshaun Williams was in the area for the Tigers. They might get a free one.
Offside. Defense number 99 made contact. 5 yards. The penalty results in a first down.
Wow. What about that?
Now, I like the intentional grounding earlier, but take a look at your center here. This is all Cody Waldrop. Watch him. I mean, that is him barking out and calling. And you could see the coaches getting into Deshaun Williams. You are staring at the football. You cannot be fooled no matter what kind of tricks Waldrop's got up his sleeve. It's a savvy move from the redshirt freshman to get away with it.
On first down, another quarterback draw. Connor Shaw making that magic happen. Into Clemson territory at the 47-yard line, picks up 13. It's so tough. How do you game plan for a quarterback who gives you that extra variable?
Very, very challenging. And this is the only run game they've got. And you got 15 minutes to go in a tie ball game in your place. And Spurrier has been searching for any kind of run action. I think this is going to be Connor Shaw's 4th quarter. And why not in a venue that he's yet to lose a game as a starter?
He's lining up as a wide receiver here. Farrell Cooper taking the snap out of the Wildcat. Actually looking to pass. Has a man on the post. Contact and a flag. Intended for Shaq Rowland. And Darius Robinson just tackled him before the ball came close. This one appears to be obvious.
Pass interference. Defense number 8. 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Boy, it looked like a catch.
Ooh, it sure did.
That looked like a catch.
Yeah, they're going to take another look at this one. Darius Robinson is beaten clean, and those DBs are taught. You tackle that wide receiver rather than giving up the significant play down the field, and Robinson does it. But how about the concentration and the strength by Rowland here? Catches 1, 2, 3.
He put that away. That's a catch.
Yeah, and I think that elbow is down. What concentration.
Oh my, yeah. Nine seconds to go in the third quarter. Remember, they look at every play, and they may want to look at this one.
There is no timeout. The previous play is under further review. The ruling on the field was an incomplete pass.
It's a pretty good throw.
This is going to be
Cooper,
interesting.
Huh?
Yeah.
The true freshman there showing you his versatility, and an even better effort from the former Mr. South Carolina, Shaq Rowland here. Yeah, I think he clearly catches it, and you see his right arm elbow go down to the ground. How he fights through that contact, continues to have focus.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. It's an incomplete pass.
Now, does he complete the football play all the way through contact with the ground? Whew.
They obviously felt that he did not complete the football play in going to the ground. Thus, the call on the field confirmed an incomplete pass. But still a first down.
And you have to complete that with you see it all the time, and what looks like, and it sure looks like a football move, and it sure looks like a catch, but you have to complete that and keep possession through the contact with the ground. Tremendous effort, 15-yard penalty, but not the big play down the field.
Ellington sets after going in motion. Shaw looking to run again. He's been their best runner tonight. And picks up a few more yards. That's going to be the end of the third quarter of play. What did you expect, folks? It's South Carolina against Clemson. Get your NFL Sunday started on ESPN at 10 a.m. Sunday NFL Countdown. Chris Berman and the gang. And before you set your lineups, catch fantasy football now at 11 a.m. on ESPN2. Our experts providing the latest news, injury reports, and fantasy performers. Over 84,000 here in Columbia, South Carolina. And meanwhile, in Columbia, Missouri, another huge SEC game. It's 14-all between Missouri and Texas A&M. If Johnny Football and the Aggies defeat Missouri, then South Carolina would appear in the SEC championship game by virtue of winning the SEC East. This game has no bearing on South Carolina's SEC standing, of course. Cooper taking the direct snap out of the Wildcat. And Cooper down to the 23, close to that first down.
You know what really good play callers do? They continue to call the same play until a defense proves and shows it can stop it. That inside run to Mike Davis been such a component of South Carolina's success this year, over 1,100 yards. Well, they've gone away from it. Steve Spurrier spent 2.5 quarters trying to establish that run, couldn't get it going, and it's been nothing but quarterback draw with both Pharaoh Cooper and Connor Shaw here in the second half.
Now Shaw taking the snap. Mike Davis beside him. There's another quarterback run. Brought down just inside the 20-yard line. Got about 3. Second down and 7. Jarrett making the tackle.
And then you add the next layer to that. And I think here eventually at some point in the final 14 minutes, I'd be pretty surprised if you don't see a fake quarterback draw with a play action pass component to it. You're setting it up. You're showing it. These safeties, these linebackers, they're feeling it over and over and over again. And then at some point you show that action and you hit the pass down the field.
Both teams with 2 timeouts remaining. 2nd and 7. Jack Rowland split to the top of your screen. To the backfield. Nice move and catch by Davis as we go downstairs to Jessica.
South Carolina's athletic director asked Steve Spurrier yesterday if they would like to update the fans here of the A&M Missouri game. He said, no, I don't want my players to be distracted. But you guys, I've heard some untimely cheers in the crowd. There are fans here that are getting the updates on their cell phones, so still finding a way, even though Spurrier tried to prevent it.
Yeah, checking them those scores out. That score out on their Watch ESPN app. 3rd down and 4 coming up. Play clock at 2. Another run. Shaw into the official. Brought down, but it'll be 1st and goal at the 7. You hear the boos cascading down on the field, no doubt directed at the official who impeded the progress of Shaw. 2nd time we've seen that kind of play tonight.
Yeah, and you continue to see this space here, and until you either see some stunts or some blitzes, and they continue to spread it. And unfortunately, umpires got no athleticism to get out of the way of Connor Shaw. But that's not his job. We saw that earlier with the jump pass. You can get as fired up as you want, and the hometown faithful don't like it. But that's not the job of a umpire to get out of the way.
Connor Shaw, 77 yards rushing today.
Timeout.
South Carolina down to just 1 timeout now. Looking at 1st and goal when we come back. Tough to account for that official when you're counting guys in the bubble, right? In the box. Celebrating its 9th year sponsoring the Good Hands Field Goal Nets, Allstate making contributions to participating universities' general scholarship funds. For each field goal and extra point kick since 2005, Allstate has contributed more than $3.3 million in scholarship funds. Brock, back to the official. He wasn't on the scouting report.
No, many times offenses will try to use those umpires to run those pick plays, but this time Jim Eckel, a little heavy-footed, can't get out of the way of Connor Shaw. And his buddy's giving him the business.
So now you used to be a little quicker than that. Mike Davis in the backfield, backs lining up out of the eye. 1st and goal for South Carolina. McLaurin, the fullback, they're going to throw it. Pass caught. That was Bird, and he's brought down almost immediately, picking up 4. 2nd and goal from about the 3.
And remember some of the challenges that South Carolina has had in this run game. Got stuffed on a 3rd and 2, stuffed on a 4th and 1. This field's condensed. Will they continue to try to power Davis here without much success in the first 3 quarters?
They give it to Davis, powering ahead. Touchdown. The 11th rushing touchdown of the season for Davis, the 13th of his career. Fry with the extra point, and the Gamecocks lead by 7. Capping an 11-play, 75-yard drive. What's Clemson got next?
ESPN College Football Primetime. Brought to you by GoPro, the world's most versatile camera. GoPro, be a hero.
Well, you can't keep the bird cage for long, Brock Heward. South Carolina leading by 7. Just under 12 minutes to go here in the 111th edition of Clemson against South Carolina. Watkins trying to break one. And out over the 25 to the 26-yard line. Let's go back to the studio and Wendy.
Mark, thank you. A Taco Bell studio update. A lot of South Carolina fans curious about Missouri. It's Mizzou, Texas A&M tied at 14, but James Franklin finds LaDainian Washington in the corner of the end zone. Mizzou takes a 21-14 lead. And over on ABC, UCLA leading the Trojans by a touchdown. It's 14-7 in the third quarter.
All right, Wendy. Boyd complete to Watkins, and they are all over him immediately. Swarmed Holloman, the first guy to get there. Of course, everybody here hoping that Texas A&M can mount a comeback, because an Aggie win would mean that South Carolina would appear in the SEC championship game. A loss of 2 on the play, 2nd and 12. A rocket and dropped by Watkins. You won't see that happen often.
You can't afford that. You get really good protection, and that's a play you got to make. That's not even alligator arms. There's no safety around. That's disappointing on 2nd and 12, and it's going to do nothing but fire this crowd right back up again.
Clowney on the field. On the end to the bottom of your screen. He got off quickly. But they take him out of the play. Boyd running and making the first down. Taj Boyd with a spirited run. Got a nice block from Brandon Thomas to pick up about 12 on the play.
And Mark, circle that play. That is exactly why Dabo Swinney said this guy is the face of our university. First down, he gets hammered on a screen. Second down, he hangs in there and he throws a dart. His receivers drop. He can feel the intensity of this place and of that moment. And at 3rd and 12, what does he do? Well, he puts his head down and he fights through for that first down. That's why Dabo Swinney and this program have reached levels they've never been at before. Three consecutive 10-win seasons. A chance tonight to get to back-to-back 11-win seasons. And they don't do it without that guy right there, Taj Boyd.
Dabo talks about Boyd being an even better person. By the way, he embraces the fan base. He is the face of the university. Play action. And Boyd with nowhere to go. The ball coming loose. You're going to see he was down first. Quarles was there first.
And that's number 3 on the night. That gets Kelsey Quarles from his D-tackle position to double-digit sacks on the season. And every once in a while, you just got to be a little patient. You get that good upfield rush. Quarles shows the strength right there in the interior to gather his 3rd sack of the night.
Boyd pulls the trigger. That pass complete to Mike Williams. Williams making his first catch of the night. Nice tall target at 6'3", picks up 9. 3rd down coming up again. 3rd and about 3 to go. From their own 44. Gamecocks coming with 3. McDowell with a first down run and then some. Dragged down finally at the 34. But a big gain for Roderick McDowell. Marcus making the tackle. A 22-yard pickup.
It's a game of adjustments. Chad Morris, the second half, has decided to go to a lot of that run game on 3rd down. Now the third down conversion in the second half on the ground.
Boyd got tripped up in the backfield. Got a yard on the play. Brock, they made some nice adjustments to be able to get a little bit more flow offensively here in the second half.
And it's hard to be patient. It's hard sometimes to take 4 yards, 3 yards, 5 yards, to not go for some of those home run shots, especially when you have the explosive talents of a Watkins and a Bryant, but they're taking what's there. South Carolina played a lot of 2 safety look tonight for Boyd. He's had to check it down underneath. He's had to scramble for the hard yards. He's earned it here tonight.
Clowney out of the ball game. Will the blitz pressure coming? Boyd stepping up. Runs it up to the 30-yard line. Loose ball. South Carolina may have recovered it. They did. Chaz Sutton recovered the fumble. That's the third turnover tonight for them.
Running on the field, there's a fumble, first down.
Oh, he just took it from him. First and 10 coming back the other way from the 30-yard line. Davis on the carry. Nice cutback. And Mike Davis gets up close to 4. Shaq Lawson making the tackle.
Take another look at that, and unfortunately for Boyd, and he was trying to tell his sidelines his knee was down, but that ball was up and away from him, and that's tremendous technique there at South Carolina. Unfortunately, that left knee is not down as that ball is starting to come out. That's the right call. It's just the wrong time for Taj Boyd.
Cooper taking the direct snap out of the Wildcat formation. Running it into boundary and not much room. Brought down at the 35-yard line, and a flag down as well. 1-yard gain. But it's a hold against the Gamecocks with under 8 minutes to go now.
3rd and 5 or 2nd and 15.
Holding 53, offense, 10 yards, still second down.
That's my heavyweight wrestler, Jarrett and crew. He's been really good in the middle, and that's some strength on strength. That's A.J. Can, number 50 there. Corey Robinson, number 53. Grady Jarrett has been incredibly productive. He'll come back for his senior year at Clemson. Expect him just to continue to dominate and grow.
Shaw with one-on-one coverage. Flag and caught. What a play by Shaq Rowland. Working against Darius Robinson. Remember, it was Shaq Rowland last time that almost had that catch that they called a pass interference on down by the goal line earlier. And it was working against Robinson again.
And that's sophomore on senior, and Rowland winning now on multiple occasions.
Pass interference, defense number 8. The penalty is an automatic first down at the spot of the foul. First down.
Great concentration again here, Brock.
That's all hand strength, as it was earlier on the deep ball as well, fighting through some of that contact.
He has been giving Darius Robinson some work tonight.
Football is the ultimate team game, but in big moments, it typically comes down to those man-to-man matchups and who can win the one-on-ones.
Shaw taking off and sliding in after a gain of about 8. Connor Shaw with more yardage. Well, folks, get close to all the action wherever you are with the new SportsCenter app. Blazing fast scores, hottest news, highlights, analysis, and access to your favorite SportsCenter talent 24/7 via Twitter. You can download the new SportsCenter app by calling *SC from your phone. Tell you what, between that and the ESPN Watch ESPN app, you got it covered. 2nd and 3. Brandon Wilds now in a tailback, lining up the deep back out of the eye. Wiles is going to lose a yard. Brock is. South Carolina is not in a position here to take their foot off the gas. I mean, with 6 minutes and change to go, right?
Oh, no, absolutely not. And I said to you earlier that Steve Spurrier has largely gone away from the run to Davis, and it's all been about Connor Shaw. Probably no surprise here in the final 5 minutes. It's all going to be about these third downs.
They've been winning them for the large part tonight. 9 for 15. They got to get their hustle on here. The clock down to 3. They get lined up and just get it off in time. Shaw incomplete. And they'll have to punt. And tell you what, coach on the sidelines, one of the coaches down the sidelines there was incensed. I saw a clipboard come flying out. And you see the dejection etched across Shaw's face. Well, the 4th punt of the night coming up for Tyler Hull. Clemson will get the ball back.
Tyler Hull, the punt.
On the fly from the 26, Humphreys. And it's loose. South Carolina football. Quinton Smith recovered the loose ball. And the second time that Humphreys has had a miscue on a punt return tonight. That's the 4th turnover of the night for the Tigers. Makes it tough to win football games. 5:18 to go, and the Gamecocks are going to have the ball at Clemson's 34.
And that look says it all. That's the same look that we saw against Florida State when they turned it over 4 times. This is a group that was plus 10 in the turnover column coming into this evening and sitting at -4 today in a rivalry game on the road. No chance.
Connor Shaw going to take off and run it again. Taking out his do-it-yourself kit. The Connor Shaw way. That's a career-high 20th rush of the ball game for Connor Shaw, playing his last home game here at Williams-Brice Stadium.
The ultimate whatever it takes. And yesterday, Steve Spurrier not necessarily pleading with us, but having a conversation of,
he made a good case.
I don't understand why he doesn't get some of the recognition. And undefeated, how many guys in college football can say they're undefeated in their own place as a 3-year starter?
Second and 3, he's going to keep it again. Gain a yard, it'll be 3rd and about 2 to go. They are in field goal range already. They get a field goal out of this drive, it obviously making it a 2-score game for Clemson.
And field goals have been an adventure today in college football, and you've got a true freshman in Elliott Fry that's been really good, 14 and 17 on the season, along the 45. But as you can see there by the 6-foot, 145-pound frame, he still is a true freshman who's never been in this moment.
Pharaoh Cooper out of the Wildcat formation. Gonna throw it, has a man. What a play! Wilds, touchdown! Surprise, surprise! They convert the turnover into points almost immediately. And now Sweeney and the Tigers in a real huge hole with 3:44 to go. Pharaoh Cooper with the touchdown pass. Not sure we were going to be saying that when the game first started. 4 turnovers have been converted into 21 South Carolina points.
QB run, QB run, QB run to pass. The ultimate play caller, hitting it at just the right time.
The votes are in. The fans have spoken and deemed this the blimp-worthy game of the week. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear, where there is superior performance. Goodyear is there. Goodyear, more driven. Mark Jones along with Brock Heward. Jessica Mendoza down to the sidelines for the 111th chapter of South Carolina and Clemson. Come out to the 25-yard line. We're going to take a timeout and come right back after this.
I'm Wendy Nix in our college football studios with an update. Here's UCLA leading USC by a touchdown, but Brett Hundley extends the lead. The Trojans have just scored. It's now 21-13 pending the extra point on ABC. Mark?
All right, Wendy, back here. It's 31-17, and Clemson's got to go to work in a hurry, in a big way. Watkins in motion. Boyd intercepted at the 43 by Moore. Five turnovers tonight for the Tigers. And the second pick of the year for Moore.
And unfortunately for the redshirt senior, this is just a force. You've got to see the underneath coverage. He's trying to throw the deep in cut behind it. Gotten little, very little from the perimeter tonight with the receivers. And in a night that Taj needed a lot of patience, a fumble, a pick, and his teammates around him didn't help either. 2 fumbles on a punt, the opening interceptions, 5 turnovers. Just impossible to win in this venue.
3:38, up by a couple of touchdowns. Davis picks up 2. Well, get your NFL Sunday started on ESPN, 10 a.m. Sunday NFL Countdown. Chris Berman and the crew getting you up to speed, including a great feature on Russell Wilson. And before you set your lineups, catch Fantasy Football Now at 11 a.m. on ESPN2. Our expert providing you with the latest news, reports, and top fantasy performers. What's it like as a senior playing your final game as quarterback in your home stadium?
Well, I wouldn't know what it feels like to run your record as 17-0 in this place.
That's pretty special.
And you go back and you open this broadcast talking about his place amongst quarterbacks in South Carolina history.
That was Sean Carson on the run.
This program has never been to these heights. I mean, not even close. When you really go back and you look at the last 100+ years of South Carolina football, what Steve Spurrier has done here, 10+ win seasons over the last 3 years now, and this guy's a big part of it. And Dylan Thompson's a nice player. You've seen so much of the talent surrounding the quarterback position. The recruiting classes upon recruiting classes have been so good. But I think a Connor Shaw, once he departs here, I think people will respect both on the national and local level. I think respect his game even more.
A great point. Well, turnover is one of the prevailing storylines of the night. 5 of them by the Tigers. They've been moving the ball well on the opening sequence, running it, and then threw that interception on the double pass. And Adam Humphries with a couple of miscues. That was one of them. Boyd got stripped for another turnover, and then Humphries again fumbled this one right into the arms of the Gamecocks. And then this one just a moment ago by Taj Boyd.
Nadambo Sweeney and his staff are going to be searching and trying to figure out why on the biggest of stages this season they've really imploded with those turnovers. The Florida State game, this game tonight, because you're not that far. I mean, these two teams are so evenly matched in so many ways. But when you give it away that many times, it makes the task just impossible.
Try to run on 3rd and 7 and falls down short of the first down. 4th down coming up. South Carolina, if things continue to trend this way, will have their 10th win of the season against 2 defeats.
The timeout will be 30 seconds.
And the Tigers call their final timeout of the game.
And they'll kick themselves a little around here for that Tennessee game. Obviously at Tennessee, and the sprained knee there. They come back in dramatic fashion in double overtime to beat Missouri.
Connor Shaw, guy that was offered early, committed early to South Carolina. Brother played at Georgia Southern. Dad a coach as well. As the action continues between Missouri and Texas A&M. Texas A&M just an extra point away from tying this game up. And remember, if Texas A&M defeats Missouri, then South Carolina will play in the SEC championship game. And it's tied at 21 right now.
And I'm going to guess that when this game ends, and if South Carolina can conduct their business properly here down the stretch of the final couple minutes, and that game is still going on, yeah, that's right. You're going to be cheering very loud and clear for Johnny Football in the 4th quarter.
Gamecocks will punt it, and it travels into the end zone. 2:36 to go after the 42-yard punt. Davian Clowney will move on to the NFL next year. And what a season. A tumultuous and turbulent season it's been for him. You know, I checked YouTube today. You know that tackle that he made? It had over 4 million hits. Bunch of them on ESPN, I might add, too. Pass complete to the edge. That's second. His first reception of the game, and Taj Boyd will lose his 3rd game against South Carolina. Go 0 for 3. He'll probably end up 31-8 now as a starter. Second row with another catch. Boyd, the ACC's leader in touchdown passes. But in and around the state of South Carolina, the Palmetto State, he'll be asked the question, unfortunately, for a long time, as he throws another interception to Holloman. It'll be pointed out cruelly why he couldn't defeat the Gamecocks. And that look on his face says it all. I'm not sure that there's anything that Norton or any of his other teammates could say to him right now that could console him. Bryant, the intended receiver on that one.
Good look there at Chad Morris, and he knows that's desperation time, and Taj trying to make something out of nothing that's there. South Carolina was going to keep everything in front of them, Mark, and it is a bitter end. There's no doubt about it for Taj Boyd and for Dabo Swinney as well. The first time now in the history of this 111 times these two have matched that South Carolina has run off 5 wins in a row against Clemson. I think you hear the chant of SEC, MVP or SEC.
Make it what you want.
I think it's SEC, and I think these folks around here, and I know there's been some conversation when this game maybe gets decided whether or not they put the other game on the big screen in the building here. They had at least had some of those conversations. I can promise you this. Those folks are going to be running, if it's not on the big screen here, to a set somewhere close by so they can watch.
There are a lot of them in the parking lot. There are a ton of tailgaters and RVs as the Gamecock players mount their secretive Gatorade shower on the old ball coach.
Did they get him?
I'm going to predict with 40 seconds ago, they can run a good play here. Get a little misdirection going and get one of the guys to distract coach.
You better get closer. You better get closer to the sidelines.
Shaw takes a knee, and that'll do it. Well, somebody got the ball, coach. The Gamecocks are going to win this one 31-17. And the 111th edition of this rivalry, which featured Clowney and Boyd, among other quasars on the field, will be remembered for the 5 turnovers in part by Dapo Sweeney's team. Actually 6. It's the first time that the Gamecocks have won 5 in a row against the Tigers. Downstairs to Jessica Mendoza.
He's got talent.
Coach, in 117 years of this rivalry, it's the first time you've beat Clemson 5 times in a row. What makes this team so special?
I don't know. It just happens. They don't play well when they play us. And they had a whole bunch of turnovers. I don't think we had any that I can remember. So it was a good win for our guys. They played well.
Well, Tosh Boyd's so talented, but what allowed you guys to put so much pressure on him tonight?
I don't know. He hit a few here and there. They dropped a few passes. And I don't know. It just keeps working out for us right now.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach.
Thanks.
You got to love the way that Coach Spurrier simplifies things, right? It just works out. They just turned it over.
And they got him pretty good. The Advisor saved the day a little bit.
10th win of the season for South Carolina. Now they will turn their attentions to Texas A&M and Missouri. Will Johnny Football do them a favor and send them to the SEC championship game? South Carolina wins it. Up next, followed by New Mexico and Boise State. For Jessica Mendoza and Brock Stewart, I'm Mark Jones saying good night from Columbia, South Carolina.